Thank you so much for joining me and welcome to my podcast, Soma Says. I would love to learn about your entrepreneurship and the establishment of what you do. So why don't you introduce yourself and then talk about your products and your shop, your coffee shop?
Sure, absolutely. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you. My name is Lindsey Sozio. I am the founder of Lavender Coffee Boutique in Denver, Colorado. And we are a coffee company, but we are a wellness-focused coffee company. We have a roastery, so we make all of our products ourselves. And we have our coffee shop, one location open here in Denver right now. And we also sell our products online, direct to consumer.
Very cool. So I was researching you and it was fascinating to me. So I see a lot of women as patients, often who are in their midlives. And at that time, something happens where they want to give up whatever they were doing and maybe establish something new for themselves. So while I was reading about you, I was like, maybe this is something that happened to you, maybe not in your midlife, but something that inspired you to make a change for yourself. From what I understand, you were previously an interior designer, and maybe you still are.
Yes, thank you for the question. Yeah, it's been like a nonlinear journey to get here. I started my career in branding and marketing and advertising.
Okay.
And then with that, I learned this idea of developing brands and developing stories around brands and how to connect with consumers. And I found that really interesting. I enjoyed that line of work. And then we had our children. So I have a couple of children. And I took a step back from that, from the marketing career. And then we went through this massive home renovation. And I've always had an interest in interior design. And I took the entire project on myself. And I did the whole thing and got such great reaction from people that I started an interior design business. And it's a small one, but I had a lot of fun helping people to create timeless, classic, comfortable spaces that you want to spend time in and that are also functional, because I think that's really important, especially as somebody who has a family and children and dogs and stuff that is practical and functional, and it can also be beautiful and timeless and elegant. And so finding that right balance. And then fast forward to now where we are today, just had this idea of taking this morning ritual of coffee that is something that I really enjoy. It's an important part of my life. It's the time when I find a few moments of peace, of meditation, of intentionality and mindfulness, where I can say, okay, here's what I'm going to do today. Here's how I'm going to approach this day. I'm going to try to approach it with an attitude of gratitude, which sometimes is not easier said than done. Just trying to set the right mindset with this morning ritual. So the thought was, let's develop this for other people. So then in comes my sort of brand storytelling background too. And we developed this brand that is a little more female focused, I would say. It's a little softer profile in the coffee space, and is really trying to connect with people through their daily routines and how to have a healthy, wellness-focused daily routine. And so that's where Lavender was born.
Why the wellness brand? What inspired you to get into wellness? Because there are a lot of people who, like yourself, are entrepreneurs, but they don't necessarily dabble in that. So what inspired you to do that?
I think that thinking about coffee as a part of a wellness routine is something that isn't often done, or is maybe something that's thought about increasingly. Like, there are more and more benefits coming out in research around the benefits of drinking coffee and how it can help your gut health and antioxidant rich nature of coffee. And I guess having this wellness and a routine, I think routine is really important in life. It's something that I enjoy, something I'd seek out. It's something that helps me feel balanced, and like I can get through things if I'm like, okay, well, I got my routine and like I know what I'm doing. And this obviously gets messed up sometimes, but for the most part, I guess having that and I think that is a major part of wellness. And so having your daily routine being a healthier coffee option, that's really what we're going for.
So tell us about some of your coffee products and what inspired you to make them. Tell us about the ingredients and how you came about naming them, what you have.
Yeah, sure. We have our line of coffees that we roast in-house. We go to small farm holders around the globe to try to find the best specialty coffees that we can. And we source coffees that have an inherent sweetness and are more balanced flavor. And we generally try to roast to a softer, more gentle acid profile. And so that takes time, and it means that we small batch roast our coffees with our head roaster, and he's involved in all the roasting. So, we can maintain a really high quality product. So we have our line of coffees, and then we have our cafe in Denver, and there we make all of our own syrups. We try to use less sugar. We don't use preservatives. So trying to attack the wellness aspect from that too, having a healthier flavoring in your coffee. And we have some really fun drinks on our menu. We have a seasonal menu, and it comes out once a season. Right now, we've got a sarsaparilla float, and it tastes like a root beer float.
Okay.
With coffee in it. And we actually include an adaptogenic mushroom in it as well. We've got some added benefits there.
Tell me about the adaptogens and specifically the mushrooms, because I know that those are very popular or becoming more popular right now. What are some of the health benefits to that?
Yeah, so we're just starting to use adaptogenic in mushrooms. So this is our first sort of foray into it. So we're still learning about all the benefits and experimenting with the best ways to incorporate the sort of idea to extend the wellness properties of what we're producing and what we're selling to our customers and getting their feedback. And it's something that we're still trying to figure out how we're going to incorporate that more into our products.
There is one brand that I have at home. And what I notice with the mushroom coffees is sometimes, and I tend to make my coffees a little bit stronger, admittedly, but I've noticed that I don't feel the jitteriness that I sometimes do with just the coffee that I brew. And at the same time, it gives me that boost and that energy lift that sometimes I'm seeking.
Yes. So I think that is probably the biggest benefit right now that you're seeing from a mushroom inclusion or adaptogen in your coffee. We also have a line of coffees that are hemp infused, which we actually produce at our roastery as well. So we infuse our coffee beans with organic hemp oil at the right time of production or right after it's roasted. And then you get a maximum absorption into the bean. So it's actually a part of the coffee. So when you have your beans and you grind them up and you brew them, then it's a little more uniform throughout your cup of coffee. And it has a very similar effect to the mushroom, where you just feel this sort of calm focus, and it's like you're alert. And I feel like when I drink it, I'm ready to get my day done and have my lists, and I'm organized, and I feel like I'm ready to perform. And then it also eliminates the jitters. So you don't get that like jittery feeling that you get when you have too much caffeine.
Most of your customers do they tend to be women, or is it a mixed bag that comes into the store or orders online?
It's a mixed bag.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We have lots of female customers and we have lots of male customers. And it's really fun to see that, having a little bit more of a feminine profile, that we have men who are interested in our coffees because we make good coffee. And it's smooth and it's a gentle acid for the most part. And so we're attracting a lot of people.
How do you market to your customers? Obviously, there's the local population, but in terms of distributing to, I don't know if you're worldwide, or how do you market your products?
Great question. So we're just in the US right now. We have our website, which is lavendercb.com. We're on Instagram. We are on an affiliate now as well. And so that's been the basis of our marketing efforts thus far.
Okay. And tell me, which one is your favorite coffee and why?
My favorite, like our coffee drink?
Yes.
Let me think. There's so many good ones. I really enjoy, we have a tranquility latte.
Yeah.
And and that one's really great. I love that one. It comes with a little dried pansy on top, which is fun in store. And then I guess as far as our bagged coffee that we would sell online, I'm a big fan of our Pearl Street blend, which is our base espresso. But I also drink it as a drip coffee too. And that one is just a really nice, caramelly, well-rounded medium roast coffee. I think is good for everyday drinking.
Are there any products that you have that don't have any coffee or caffeine in it, that are more herbal?
We do sell at our shop. We do have herbal teas and
Okay.
are producing, or we're experimenting a little bit with an energy soda which is a fun one, but that one does have caffeine in it. We have a hibiscus tea that's on tap. We're always coming up with new fun ways to bring our customers in and have them try a new flavor profile or experience something new.
Are you finding that more people are getting into coffee because of its health benefits? And how do you market those health benefits to your clients, your customers, to attract them? Obviously, it's not a pitch because, as you were saying, there are many health benefits to coffee. But maybe you could share how you advertise so we can understand the benefits of coffee for the general population, or more so for our listening audience.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, I think coffee is a ritual that is enjoyed by people worldwide. It's a pretty broad market. There's a lot of players out there. And I guess what differentiates us from a marketing standpoint is that we are really focused on this idea of high quality roasting. So we have this sort of like slower method where it takes more time. That's an interesting aspect that we like to point out to our customers and show them that because we're slower roasting our coffee, that it's a higher quality product that you're getting in the end. So I think that's probably the biggest kind of marketing standpoint that we can have. It's just like our high quality and the care with which we put into creating our products for our customers.
Okay. And as opposed to someone going to Starbucks or like a generic coffee shop, how do your customers differ? What are they seeking from you that they can't get anywhere else?
I think what they're seeking is community and connection. I think there's this sort of trend where people are really looking for a connection. And so when they come into our shop, we're really trained to connect with people, to remember names, remember orders, ask how your day is going. And we try to be a real hospitality first place where people can come in, they can put their phone down, they can have a conversation. We do have people who come in on the weekends, like couples will come in and they'll bring crossword or puzzles to play together instead of being on their phones. And so I think that's something that's really resonating with people that I think has gotten lost in the like hectic, quick serve culture of coffee.
Was this one of your visions that you wanted to create this kind of space where you can bring back the intimacy, the connection that we had prior to our phones and whatever other gadgets we have these days? Is that something you envisioned for yourself or for your store, or is it something that just happened?
No, it's definitely part of the vision, taking this moment to connect with others, connect with yourself. Just taking a moment that it feels calm and feels collected, and like you can reflect and you can have a nice conversation with somebody. And just, I think really the biggest thing is the connection.
What other things did you envision when you set to create this store and create all the products that you have?
I think what we set out to create is someplace where, a physical location, because we do have the online aspect as well, but not be a fly-by-night sort of brand. We have our physical location where people come in, they have an experience. We like to call it the Lavender Experience. And it's just something that you walk away from and you say, wow, that was really nice. I can't put my finger on exactly what was the best part, but I had a great experience there. And I'd like to do it again. And I'd like to spend more time there.
What is the Lavender Experience? It sounds lovely. Like I want to go. I want to have a Lavender Experience.
The experience is being welcomed into a physical space where you have a focus on amazing coffee, on wonderful customer service, and the aesthetic and the feeling that you get while you're in the space is a good one. You feel like all the touch points feel like they're in place. And I think it's more like you can't put your finger on exactly what it is that feels so good about it, but the combination of all the elements makes it feel great.
Are you getting more customers across the U.S., or is it more Colorado and the West Coast that you serve?
So we serve mostly Denver now, and I think our reach is starting to grow. We're still a new brand, so we're working it out and trying to capture a larger audience for sure.
I definitely have a large following of women who listen to this podcast. So hopefully they'll listen to it. And obviously we will include all the information you included in our show notes. And before we end, we'll repeat it again. Those who are listening have that information. Like I mentioned to you, I have a lot of women who are my patients who follow me. And one of the things I was mentioning that there often is change in their lives at times. And sometimes it has to do with career changes where they may go in an entirely different direction, from marketing to being an entrepreneur like yourself. And often that comes with fear, uncertainty, doubt, which is obviously normal. What would you advise women like this in terms of taking the next step, in terms of having faith in themselves? What did you go through when you made this transition?
It's definitely not an easy one. I think it comes with a lot of self-reflection, a lot of affording yourself grace, a lot of saying, okay, I might have certain expectations around things, but those are probably going to have to go out the window, because I think just deciding to be accepting and be dynamic and versatile and be able to say, okay, I'm going to have to roll with this. I don't know where this is going to go, but all I can do is say, I'm going to do my best every day. I'm going to put one foot in front of the other, and there will be mistakes and there will be answers to fix those things or get back on the right track. There's always going to be headwinds. But I think that at the end of the day, if you can continue to have this mentality of remembering what your vision is and try to make one small step toward it every day, I think that really helps, because it does take time. And I'm clearly still building this and trying to figure out where it's going to go in the end. And it's a journey, but we're making good strides and we're having fun doing it. And we're learning a lot about ourselves, about the world. And I think that's really important.
Yeah. It sounds like you've always been an entrepreneur at heart. And to share with you, that's not something that I realized about my own self until I was well out of medical school and a lot of training. And it was when I started my own practice that I first had that experience of becoming an entrepreneur. And everything that you've just described are those feelings that I've had. And even now, having this podcast and just doing numerous things outside of my daily grind of seeing patients day in and day out, I label that as being an entrepreneur because it's different. It's something that there are other doctors who do it and they do it very well, but it's a different thing and you develop it. And sometimes you have to figure out, right, what succeeds and or how to make something that isn't necessarily working, change that and not necessarily just fall back and get frustrated by that. Where I'm leading to is you're developing this and hopefully this will become much more recognized. But in the time that you've had this store and your products, tell us about two situations. One where you were able to make a situation that wasn't ideal, maybe if you want to label it as a failure, into something positive, and then tell us about something that was successful right away.
Sure. Okay, when we were about to open our doors to the cafe, I had ordered these beautiful tables. I was so excited about these tables. They were beautiful black marble tabletops. It was exactly what I had envisioned. I had ordered them 8 months in advance, and they were coming from I don't even know where. And we were about 10 days out from opening, and I get this email that said, your tables have been delivered. I was like, not to me, they haven't. So somehow these tables that we'd spent a fortune on and had been waiting for 8 months got lost somewhere. I still don't even know where they are. Lost, they're gone. So we had no tables for opening. We had to make do with what we could. And fortunately, You just got to roll with the punches and those kinds of things happen. And so we figured it out. We came up with an alternative solution and we were able to open on time as we wanted to. But that was like a little panic. And then, oh my gosh, how does this even happen? It was like it was thousands of pounds of tables just gone.
And you still don't know
what happened to them. No. So that was let's figure out a solution right there. As far as successes, let's see, I think that probably something that has been an immediate success is this idea of this seasonal menu in our shop. People they get excited for the switch over whenever it is. We tease it out. We have new flavors, new ideas, things that you wouldn't even imagine put together. We're developing the summer menu right now. And our menu developer, who I call the palette, he's, oh gosh, I've developed this like lemon poppy seed scone latte that it's going to knock your socks off. Great. Can't wait to try it. That's been really fun to see those kind of successes too.
So with each season that you have, do you kind of rotate between different products or do you keep some staples each season?
Oh, whenever there's something that really connects to people and they really love it, then we'll try to keep it on the static menu. But we try new things and then maybe we'll bring it back if people really want it again. That's a fun process.
There used to be, and I think, and hopefully it won't happen to you, but there used to be a very popular restaurant, a very like chic kind of restaurant in New York City it was Park Avenue, and with each season they had Park Avenue Spring, Park Avenue Winter, and their menus shifted each season. So I had a baby shower in the winter. I was hoping it would be the spring, but my child came a bit early, so we were still in the winter season. So I loved that concept, and I loved how the restaurant kind of transformed into each season. And so is that something that you do in your own restaurant where maybe the decor also shifts, or is that standard?
No, not so much the decor. It's really just our offering. We try to offer something that's a little bit different, a little different than what other people have in mind.
Yeah, that's cool. So you went from marketing to interior design, right? And then into coffee. Is that something that you've always been passionate about, or were you just an avid coffee drinker? What led you to coffee itself?
Coffee, I guess I've always enjoyed coffee, and I'm an avid coffee drinker. Am I a coffee expert? I've never been a coffee expert, especially now that I'm in the industry and have our amazing like roasters and they're like wine sommeliers,
right?
Taste, and I'm getting there. But it's definitely an education, and it's cool to learn about. It's a neat new aspect of my life that I didn't really expect to have happen. It's funny because many years ago, my husband and he had always said it'd be really fun if we had a coffee shop someday. And so he's involved in it too. And it just turns out that I guess this is the one. So it's something we've talked about over the years, but had never really thought could happen. And then we just decided, let's make it happen.
So with your brands, are there any upcoming new expansions for Lavender Coffee Boutique, or are you engaged in any other new projects that we'd love to hear about?
Sure. We are currently developing plans to add 2 to 3 new locations here in the Denver area.
Okay.
So it's a long process to get that up and running.
Yes.
But we're in process. So within the next 12 months, we will likely have, I don't know if it'll be 3 or 4 locations total out here. And then we're really working to grow our online presence. That'll be another focus, and expanding across the country, hopefully.
Do you have an active Instagram page where customers can follow you? Where do people outside of Denver, like where is your largest reach? Is it Instagram? Is it TikTok? Where do you get most of your followers from?
Mostly from Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah, so our Instagram handle is at lavender.cb, and we have a lot of fun stuff on our page and in our feed. So we really enjoy working on that, and that's probably our biggest. We haven't dipped our toes a little bit into TikTok, but still developing that.
I think I explored TikTok for 5 minutes, and then I don't know why. I just never fully grasped it.
I can relate. We have some younger people who work with us, and Come on, we got to get on TikTok. Okay. Someday.
Before we end, why lavender? Why name it lavender?
Because first of all, there's no lavender in any of the products.
No.
No, it's not infused in anything with lavender. There's none of that. We named it lavender. It's my favorite color.
Okay.
It's a very soothing, calming color. The plant lavender is also associated with calm. Your lavender bath salts, your lavender candles. I think that also brings to mind that visual and that feeling as well.
Okay. And then before we finally end, where can we find you so my listeners can order your delicious coffee?
So our coffees are available online on lavendercb.com. And you can also find us on Instagram at lavender.cb.
And if we happen to be in Denver, where can we find your store?
Our first store is in the adorable Platt Park neighborhood, and our address is 1219 South Pearl Street. It's a great little walking neighborhood, so you can come grab a cup of coffee and then go for a nice stroll. Yeah. And that's just the first location. We've got more coming.
Congratulations again.
Thank you very much.